What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you. Another one, and this one is The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 5, pregame show. We here every week. I tell you, I'll be here every week. I'm here every week, man. I don't let you down, man. Even on Mother's Day. But first, let's get this out the way. Let's say Happy Mother's Day to my mother, my daughter, my sister, and the other two ladies who helped raise me, which is Sylvia and Mickey, my friend's mother. Takes a village to raise somebody. It takes a village. It takes the whole community to get somebody where they need to go. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for most of those ladies. So let me say Happy Mother's Day to all of them. Also, Happy Mother's Day to my brother's wife, too. Happy Mother's Day to her. Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there who do everything you can do to make sure guys, girls, all of us get where we need to go in life. It's the mother who's the backbone of the family. If you don't have a great mother, then your life is not easy. And Happy Mother's Day to my kid's mother, Faye, who, we've together for a very long time, been separated for a very long time. But even so, I still love and respect her. She's the mother of my children, and I'll always love and respect her. And I could not have raised those girls without her. And I would not have wanted to raise those girls with anybody else but her. So Happy Mother's Day to all of y'all people, everybody out there. Hope y'all had a great Mother's Day. Hope you all had got what you wanted, got some brunch or whatever you wanted. I just hope it was a good day for you. I raised this glass to you. And Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the here that I know, like Carla Way from Down Under. Happy Mother's Day to you. And let's say what up to everybody up out here rocking with us on this Mother's Day. Queenly, what's going on? What's going on? Sonicy Boys in the building rocking with us. My man Big Bank is up in here rocking with us. Steven is here. Edwin is, my man Ed Martin is in the building rocking as always with us. Lou is in the building rocking with us right now. You know what I mean? Man KP is in the building rocking with us right now. I will open up the phone lines a little bit later. You can call Wolf Spear is in the building rocking with us right now. Now I say Queenly, but deserves to get mentioned twice. Queenly in the building rocking with us right now. Zach is up in here rocking with us. We got a bunch of people, you know what I mean? I appreciate everybody. I am not drinking beer today. I am drinking a This is it was a nice bit. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I go through like spurts of the beard. Should it be a beard? Should it be stubble? I'm not sure. Some days I like stubble. Some days I like the beard. I don't know which one looks the best. So it all depends. It all depends. Drinking a little Cosmopolitan. Double Cosmo in that bitch right there. And all that good stuff. Thank you all for coming through, especially on Mother's Day. I know it's hard, probably. You got things to do and everything, but for rocking with me and doing this Last of Us live stream. What up, Calvin? We're doing this live stream with us. You know what I mean? So let's get right into it right off the bat. We have said that since the show had started with the death of Joel, and people who know have played the video games knew it was going to happen, that it was going to take a ratings hit, that a lot of people were going to be upset. But I'm happy to report that the people that seem to be upset are the ones rating the show online. Fans, not critics, mostly fans rating it online in spots where they can rate it. And they seem to be review bombing it for that reason. But the overall numbers are not down at all. In fact, I think it's 7.5 million watched this last episode. So therefore, remember the first episode was 5.8 million. This is 7.5 million. So the numbers are still maintaining. They're going up. People are still watching it. They are not abandoning the show. And I'm very happy that they are not abandoning the show. I do not want them to abandon the show. My criticism of the show has nothing to do with, well, I will say I wish Joe was alive, and understand that's the way the show go. But it's not about that. My criticism came in the episode prior to the one what I thought that the girls were taking it a little bit too lackadaisical while they were out there. Like there was putting bows in each other's hair when you're going out there to murder someone. You need to take a little bit more seriously. We got more serious in this episode. Was it the best episode of The Last of Us that we've ever seen? I mean, if you said it was, I would not hate on you for saying that. You know what I mean? I feel you on that. I think it's close. I think it's real close. I think that they have done a very good job with this, especially last episode. They've done a very good job with the pacing of the episode, with everything they show, and bringing in other supporting characters. Right? When you bring in Jeffrey into the show, you're bringing in a gravitas of character who can maintain the stage, who can hold it down. So maybe that was their plan, because I still am suspicious whether Bella Ramsey can hold the show on her own. Can she be enough of a character that people want to follow her and not care about anything else? Again, we've compared her to Arya Stark in Game of Thrones, even though the Game of Thrones, Arya Stark was never the main focus of a character, but it's not too far off of a character. And if Arya was all about Game of Thrones and you followed her path, the reason why I think Arya's thing was successful was because you got to see her as a child, happy, wanting to be someone, wanting to be a sword fighter, wouldn't be allowed it. Her father gets her a teacher. She starts developing some skills, and then her father gets killed. Then she gets taken prisoner, and then she has to deal with all the bad stuff that happens there. Then she finally gets to escape with the Hound, and then a whole other family is killed, and then she makes a journey across the sea, and then she goes into training until eventually she finally comes back and murders the Night King, right? That's a big story arc that we see here for Arya, the whole hero's journey, right? Really didn't see the reluctant hero ever with Arya, that she did not want to do it. She always wanted to do it. So we didn't get that part of the arc with her, but we did get her whole arc. Now, when I look at the arc of Ellie, I don't see it being that. It's a whole different thing. Yes, Arya Stark wanted to do everything that she did for revenge, but we also see Ellie is also bent on revenge, but we cared about the people that she was going for revenge for, as we do care about Joel, right? But we cared about Rob, we cared about Ned, some people cared about Catelyn. Some people cared about Catelyn. Not everybody cared about Catelyn, So some people did, a lot of people did, But we do have the Joel situation, right? Do you care about Joel? Yes. So you want to see her get revenge on Abby for what she did to Joel. Now, again, in the game, when you play the game, they really do their best to try to make you sympathize with Abby, to try to make you understand where Abby is coming from. And obviously, if you see, you kill somebody's father, they have the right to come get you. That no matter what, it doesn't even matter the circumstance. They have the right to come get you because you killed their father. I don't think they've done enough with Abby to pull that off in this show. We've only seen her a couple of times, and now we have back-to-back episodes where we don't see anything about her at all, like zero, like she's not even in it. You don't even hear a word from her or anything like that. I think they're going to have to do something to make that better. They're going to have to produce, I don't know, a full Abby episode, or something's going to have to go on. Where if that's the plan. Now, if you want to just keep her as the villain, the big bad, and everything else, then you can easily do that. You can do that and just don't show her, and then all of a sudden she pops up, and then she finally confronts her and everything else. You would have to do that situation. It's possible, but if you're trying to make the audience care about Abby, I think they're dropping the ball there. I don't even know if they can at this point. You may be able to make people understand what she did, but to actually make someone care about what she did and care about her as a character, I think that's kind of out of there. You haven't spent enough time with her people and her crew and everything else to form any type of bonds with them. Right now, it's just really about Ellie and Dina. And that's the only people that you actually could care about. Now, let's get into this a little more. A little bit more. As Calvin says, yeah, I absolutely don't care about Abby. Sonic said, I think we're going to get a big surprise with Abby next season. He also says, Tony, if Abby had her size, would the ratings be different right now? I think that if they focused on her more, then yes. Again, it's not all about straight size when they deal with her. It's about why she put on that size, right? They showed that she got in that type of shape, that physical form, because she wanted to get revenge on Joel, and she was afraid of this man who was able to kill all these people single-handedly. So she trained herself to that physical peak that she can get herself to in order to be able to take Joel out. That is why she put on that size, and that's why she is so big. You lose all that when you just bring in there somebody the same size as Bella Ramsey or a little bit bigger. And I understand that you want to make the fight seem, obviously they're gonna fight, right? There's no way that they ain't gonna fight, right? So obviously they're gonna fight, and you want the fight to seem more even, so you match them up, in at the same size. But in these streets, and everybody knows in these streets, anyone who haven't been in any brawls in the streets, there ain't no weight classes in these streets. If this was a boxing match, then yes, then the weight classes make sense. All right. It makes a lot of sense. But in the streets, this ain't no boxing match. All right. I fight people 50, 70 pounds bigger than me every day that I got into a fight. There was no one my size that I ever fought. Everyone I had to beat up was always bigger than me. Every one of them. That's just the streets. That's just the way it goes. That's how it is in them streets. So if they wanted to do the street thing, then you could have made her bigger. You could have made her big. And it comes into play in the end of Abby when you finally see Abby. Obviously, we won't talk about that, but her size does come into play in that. And you also have to find that when you're playing her as a character, it has to be somewhat believable that she's able to do all the things that she's able to do, to hold open the doors, to rip these things up, to go through all those parts and be that strong woman. And her size is what makes it believable that she can actually do all these things. Isaac is that Isaac dude is not. So again, to me, when they made the video game, I think they made it as this actor. I think they used this actor's image to make the video game. In my opinion, I don't know if they did, but if you look at the video game version of him, and hey, he's just about dead on to the actor. I think they pulled Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury type situation with it. So he is definitely the best person chose for the job. And not only that. Again, when you have an actor of his caliber, when you have somebody there who's as good an actor as him, it brings a certain gravitas to the screen. It just, even if you're not as good as an actor as him, he could raise your stakes and make the scene look better just because he's in it, right? So it's just perfect for him to be there. And again, Jen Hack says that they used his voice in the game. Yeah, this is the guy. They put the person, and he didn't out-age the role. He can still play it. So that is what it is, and the viciousness of him. And this is something I'm gonna have to complain about. All right, and I know some of y'all are into it, and I'm not holding that against you. The Don don't hold that against at all. You're into what you're into, and I'm happy that you're into it, and I'm happy that you're happy, right? But I'm done with this goddamn full frontal guy. Full frontal dudes. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. All right. I'm done with it. I don't want to see any more of it. There ain't no need that you need to show that shit all the time now. We don't get that for women. Us men. We make a little boobage here and there. I want some full dead-on booty shots. I don't get no full dead-on straight ass crack in the screen. How come I don't get to see that shit? Never. But you got this dude up here. But let me tell you something about this actor. Bravo. Let me say this to this actor here. Bravo. All right. This is a guy who takes his job serious. All right. Serious. He's serious about his job. Because I'm gonna tell you, if the Don was holding like that dude, I wouldn't have done that scene. Nope. I wouldn't have done it. Ain't enough. You couldn't have paid me enough to do it. guy is a great actor. Ain't no way you would have got me up in that motherfucker. Ain't no way. God damn it. Yeah, it was cold there. Everybody used that damn excuse. Look, some people are growers, not showers, right? We know that. We know that. But if that's the case, then you should have worked yourself out right before the scene. You should have got a fluffer on set. You should have got a fluffer on set for you on that one, brother. You should have had a fluffer first. Do they have fluffers on Hollywood sets? They need them. You need them, goddammit. You gotta have these things, man. But overall, I thought, when he's over here doing that cooking scene, and he was doing all that, and he's talking about these, I always wanted a pan like this. I said I was gonna get a pan like this. I always wanted a pan like this. Some things it provides for you. And I'm like, first I'm thinking, is this motherfucker talking to himself? I'm like, is he talking to himself? And then they did the turn and they showed this cat up in there. And I was like, oh, once they showed the cat down, I was like, all right, this dude's doing this torturing. Which I will say, he didn't do a good enough job. All right? You didn't do it. You didn't break him. You couldn't break. I would have broke him. Like, if it was me up in there, you getting broke. Because I ain't going to burn your fucking hand. Like, it ain't going to happen like that. Like, I ain't going to burn your fucking back of your hand. To the point, if you're holding your hand out for it, I ain't burning the back of your hand. If you're going to go that far with it, you got to go all the way with it. All right? You got to go all the way. And that is to the nutsack. Right? You got to burn the nutsack. Then all of a sudden, this motherfucking hand ain't coming out no more. I guarantee you do that. He giving up everything. He giving people social security's numbers. He giving out everything, blood sample, everything. He gonna know everything. What blood type? He gonna give everybody everything. Right? That's the bottom line. The hand. The fuck that? You might as well give him his foot. He ain't doing nothing. His kneecap. That shit ain't doing nothing, man. You gonna do it. You need to do it right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how you do it. If you're gonna be in that line of business, you gotta stand on your business. You know what I mean? But again, you got to see what these Seraphites are about. You've seen what they're willing to do. Now, and I don't think that they explain this in the show, but when they do that and they cut open your stomach and they release your and the trope of everybody's intestines getting pulled out of their body has gone on way too much. Don't you think? I'm asking you. Every time now, in every heart, they always got to pull somebody's intestines and have is that overdone to you? It's every show. And I understand it looks grisly. It does. But they do it every show. You see people's intestines hanging out when it comes to this stuff. Every time. They always do it. It's like they can't think of anything else. Like, what are you going to do? We got to make this look graphic. Hey, Chip. We got to make this look graphic, Chip. Well, what do you suggest there? No, I mean, pull his intestines out. That works. It's like, come on. We done did it. We done seen it all. We done seen everybody trying to hold their stomach in and hold their intestines. We've seen it every show. Every show they do it. Every show. But so the reason why they do that, and because they are a cult, and they follow this woman, is they feel that that's cleansing the person, like it's a spiritual thing. What they tell you, what they say, is a spiritual thing that they're cleansing the person from what they're being inflicted by, because they feel that the technology that has brought upon this world is what led to this whole outbreak, and that the human beings need to get back to basics. And that is why they definitely do that stuff. And that's why they do it. But it was good, the fact that they showed them that. Because when they first introduced them, obviously we see them walking, and it seems like they're just normal people. Well, they got scars in their face and a scar in their kids. But hey, African tribes do that. All right. So that's not too far-fetched that people do that. African tribes do that. African tribes also cut off women's clitoris. We don't need to talk about that, poor girls. But they do scar your face in certain African tribes as a thing to manhood or everything else like that, you know. I mean, is it any worse than circumcision? I mean, that happens, right? You know, I'm circumcised. I'm cool with it. If I had a son, he'd be circumcised. I don't want my son walking around with a turtleneck. Maybe y'all into it, but my son wouldn't have no turtleneck. All right, he wouldn't have to. It's not happening. All right. So I would say, you know, so all the people that were complaining about the scars on the face, it's realistic. It does happen. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be South American tribes do it too. So that's not so far-fetched and everything else like that. Big bang. You know, it ain't everything else going down like that. So, but they showed them as a peaceful organization, holding the hammer, fighting against the oppressed and just trying to live their life. And here's these big bad wolves coming to get them. And now you get the chance to actually see what these wolves are all about. That it's always two sides to the coin. And I think that is what it is in this show. That's what they're trying to show you when you watch this show. That every time you see someone on one side of the coin, they're going to show you someone on a different side of the coin. The extremism is both. They are both extreme what they do. When you look at the wolves, they are extreme military people who take it over the top. When you look at it from the Seraphites, they're extreme religious views, and they take it over the top. Everyone is extreme on what they do. Their methods end up being the same, but they justify doing them differently. And that's where it comes across. Thank you, Kelly Johnson, for the super chat. Always depends on you, my brother. T, are you a lion or a wolf? I'm neither. I'm a Baratheon stag with Melisandre, red heart of law. That's what I am. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? And as for my personal sigil, obviously, you know, it's the hand holding the mannequin things. That's the personal sigil of House Teflon. And for the Brokeback Barbarian, for bareback Brokeback. Ain't no Brokeback over here. Shit. But for the bareback,
are you still thinking about that torture scene? I think yeah.
I was thinking about that damn Dom, that motherfucking Dom, the Dom top, that dude, that Dom top dude, man, that motherfucker. But no, bareback barbarians. We are the gorilla is our sigil. It's straight up. Mojini Linguini and the Don Tony Teflon. We used the gorilla there. And everything. That was us. Kelly Johnson, thank you again. I got Phil Ishujah. It is here right now. But T, you ain't exposing the death of Septimus again. So I'm sorry about it. I would have done it Saturday. Mesa, first week was my fault. I couldn't get it done. This week was due to Mother's Day. That Mesa Payne couldn't join me. Hopefully we do it this week. It will be brand one. Will be the first chapter that we go over. I'll read the whole chapter line by line. We'll stop at certain points and point out everything that's going on in the chapter and the things that the chapter foreshadow. Well, we do that this week. We'll get that done this week. I promise you. It will be there. I just don't want. I told Mace Payne. The reason why I'm doing it is because, this is a small council guy wanting to come back and stuff, or I wouldn't even be doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm doing it, so I'm not going to do it without the dude. And so that's the only reason why I'm doing it in the first place. So we're definitely going to get it done and everything else. Phil, how did you feel about this episode of Last of Us?
I thought it was a good episode, especially the Jeffrey Wright stuff. First question, just is my audio okay? Am I like, your audio's great. Okay, cool. But so yeah, Jeffrey Wright was really awesome. I thought all of his scenes added some gravitas. I thought the Ellie and Dina stuff was better in this episode. There was a few more moments that kind of we were talking about where they were just like luddy-dudding. But I think without, and this isn't any spoilers, it's just anticipation. I have a feeling things might change tonight, or going into these because they keep talking about this episode 6, and episode 6 is going to be a flashback episode from what I've heard. And that's the episode that all the critics that have seen this series so far are talking about. That's the Emmy episode. That's the big episode. So I'm assuming that's going to be flashback Pedro and Ellie episode, and Pedro comes back next week. So tonight's episode, I expect to be some big hard action that kind of leaves things off with a big cliffhanger. So, but I did like the episode, and I think Jeffrey, to your point that you said earlier as I was driving home, Jeffrey Wright just commands so much screen presence. He made the horrible final seasons of Westworld even watchable. Like, he's really a great fucking actor. And I think everything with him was really intense. One thing I do want to mention that you talked about earlier, and someone said it in the chat, but because I was saying this last week in the after show, similar to what you were saying about like Abby, like if they really like, I haven't played the games, but I know the game well enough to know that she's a point of view character that you switch off between. Like, it's not a spoiler to say you switch off between Ellie and Abby in the game, and you're supposed to like Abby.
Obviously we all know that Ellie and Abby are gonna fight.
Okay,
point,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we know that's gonna happen too.
That's all right. So I'll tell you how much important character that Abby is in the game and how they do it. At one point in the game, you play as Abby and Ellie is the final boss. The computer's controlling against you.
Yeah.
Like, switch it that far.
It goes bad. So what I've heard, Tony, is what they're going to do is we're probably not going to see Abby this season except for a scene. And then they're going to start next season with all Abby episodes to get them to the point where to match up the timeline. We're going to see Ellie theoretically bump into Abby at the end of the season for a second. It might even just be the cliffhanger in the season where they make eye contact. And then the beginning of next season is going to start with Abby. I don't know if I like that choice, or I would have liked it better if they went back and forth within the season. My question to you is, if that's what they end up doing, if we don't see Abby again till the first 4 episodes of next season are all Abby episodes, all fucking Abby episodes, do you think that's good? Or
I think that, and we have a super chat for you, Phil, from Kelly Johnson. We'll get that in a second. I think that they have a problem that they only have 2 games, and that they need to stretch the product into 3 seasons. So this is their way to do so. I don't think that it's ideal. I think if they had another video game, The Last of Us Part 3, they would be able. This is not the way they would handle it.
Yeah.
I think they're handling this way specifically because they have to stretch this to 3 seasons, and they're not, and they have no other way to get them there. So how do we do it? We do some flashbacks. We do these things. We run a 2 timeline situation: Ellie's timeline this season, Abby's timeline next season. I think if you do that and you don't show Ellie or Dina or a lot of them, and you focus on Abby next season, then I guarantee that the ratings that we have seen will drop off as soon as the episode 1 airs, and you go to episode 2 and they're not there. So I don't think that it will work, but I could be wrong. We'll see. And Kelly Johnson asks, Phil, what do you think of the trash Daryl Dixon show?
I mean, I think I know what you think from your question. I mean, I haven't watched, except for the Rick Grimes and Michonne show, because I love Andrew Lincoln and the actress plays Michonne. I wanted to give that and I love John Locke from Lost, who was on it too. And that was I wasn't upset. I was just disappointed. It makes sense on Mother's Day to say that, but I was just disappointed. I've heard the other 2 ones are slightly better, Daryl Dixon and Dead City. I must admit, The Walking Dead stabbed me into the ground of repetition, and I think it's the show that you put up on the wall to give an example of something that goes on too long, like that in The Simpsons, where you're just like, yeah, these are the 2 examples of stretching the concept way too fucking long. And I love The Simpsons too when it was great. But
do you think that? Do you think that The Simpsons?
But I don't like it. That's the answer.
I'm saying, do you think that The Simpsons is the greatest spinoff of all time?
You mean from like the Tracy Ullman show thing?
It's a spinoff. It's from the Tracy Ullman show.
If you're going to consider it, a true spinoff, which it is, was any other show a weird spinoff? Was like because Happy Days was the Prime show. It would either be that or one of the Happy Days or All in the Family clones. Is it like it's not. Is it Frasier? Is it? It's like in the conversation.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. Those are all in the conversation.
I mean, The Wire is a spinoff. They had The Corner first.
Oh yeah, the Corner and stuff like that.
They did The Corner first, and then they brought The Wire off The Corner. So The Wire is a spinoff.
So it probably is definitely in the conversation. You know how I like doing it. It's either sitting at the kitchen table or the Mount Rushmore thing. So I would say it's definitely in that freaking conversation for sure.
I will get Phil to do. We will do a top 10 greatest spinoffs live stream and see if we can.
The Simpsons is a sneaky one, Tony. That's like an excellent conversation. And just to the Simpsons too, I know I would put this on the list. Some people might not. Something like Futurama that came from the Simpsons world. Is that considered a spinoff, or is that its own thing?
If it was featured in the Simpsons first, then it's a spinoff.
Okay, I don't think Futurama technically was then. So
it has to be featured in that show in order for it to be a spinoff. It has to be in that show. Like Mork and Mindy is a spinoff
of Happy Days. Yep.
You know, they already had the pilot and everything and the idea of Mork and Mindy, and they used it to put it in Happy Days to get people to know it. But the fact that it debuted in Happy Days means it's a spinoff.
Yeah, he was one of the few people to actually beat the hell out of the Fonz. Also, Laverne and Shirley was a spinoff of Happy Days.
Joni Loves Chachi.
Joni Loves Chachi. Yep. I know it's not a technical spinoff, but I count Charles in Charge too. Even though it's different, I count fucking Charles in Charge.
Charles and Charles is kind of.
That's Chachi. That's fucking Chachi, dude.
Chachi. We just changed his name. It's Chachi though. But you also deal with it. Good Times is a spinoff of Maude.
Yep. Jeffersons. Maud's a spinoff of All in the Family.
Maud's a spinoff of All in the Family. So is the Jeffersons a spinoff of All in the Family. So, you know, there's a lot there. There's a lot of spinoffs where you go. You know, Laverne and Shirley's got to rank high. You know, there's a lot of things because it was more popular than Happy Days for a long time. Yeah. There's a lot of things. I mean, The Ropers was a spinoff of Three's Company. It didn't work.
Nope.
There was a spinoff of The Golden Girls, the Golden Gates, where they did the hotel.
Well, Golden Palace with Don Cheadle and Cheech.
Yeah, they tried to pull that off. It didn't work. And, you know, they did a lot of things. I mean, Facts of Life is a spinoff of Different Strokes. Edna Garrett started there.
Yeah, she was the maid of that. The weird thing with the Ropers one is they screwed that dude over. They were like, dude, we're gonna make your own show, and he's like, no, I don't want to leave. He did the thing that what the mother from the Jeffersons did that too. Like when they first told her about that, she's like, I don't want to do my own show. I want to stay on All in the Family. I want to see Sherman Hemsley deal with Archie, and like let's stay here, and like we're the best part of this show, you know. And they're like, okay, you can either go with that show or we'll find another person to be Mrs. Jefferson. She's like, okay, I'm going. Fuck that, you know. So they got
rid of the original Mr. Jefferson and brought in Sherman Hemsley when they did the show.
Yeah, and they made him the uncle. They made the other dude the uncle and stuff like that.
Yeah, because he lit it up when he came on there.
So yeah, with the Ropers, they send him off, and who's a great actor, but he's not Don Knotts. And then they replace him with Don Knotts, and he's like, "Can I come back?" And they're like, "We're not getting rid of Don Knotts. Go fuck yourself."
And it's hard to say that because the
Ropers. You were Farley or like it's got to be.
It's hard because it's a two people. I liked Helen too, right?
Yeah, the mom, the wife was awesome too, but you can't beat Don Knotts. You can't beat Don Knotts in a sitcom.
You can't beat, but he is one of the first people to ever break the fourth wall on television. Every time.
What are you talking about, Tony?
Every time he turned and looked right at the camera and laughed at the camera. Like he's only so it was.
No, he was great. It was a rare situation where both of them were really great.
They couldn't go wrong either way. They upgraded and stuff, you know. All right, we'll do that live stream. I promise. Yeah. Me and Phil will get that live stream done. I'll get, and John Haymaker has gifted.
And Tony, I'm going to add one more extra wrinkle to that. We're also going to do some of the worst of all time. It'll be like a combo list. Maybe we'll even tier it up. Yeah. Do like a full tier list where we rank a bunch of sitcoms and stuff like that. We'll figure it out.
I don't know how to do that. Blah blah blah. And put the thing.
I can do it on my screen.
All right, so we'll definitely do the tier list and everything else in the S, and then when we get to the top, then we'll start breaking down who's
break down the S tier ones and stuff like that, and figure out what the best ones are.
And we'll do it right.
Because I want to talk about some shitty ones too. There's some shitty ones like all the aftermath ones and stuff. Like anything they tried to do after MASH was just fucking horrible.
Yeah, but there's some Star Trek ones that didn't hit.
Oh. I mean, okay, that's okay. We gotta save this because Next Generation would be in the conversation for one of the better spinoffs too, and Deep Space Nine too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. Melrose Place was a spinoff of 90210.
Yeah, there's a bunch of there's a lot. There's a lot of them. Listen, I'm not gonna say that this new Frasier was a spinoff of Frasier, but this new Frasier was terrible.
Oh, it's horrible. Horrible. No, we're gonna talk about that turd of
I watched the whole first season of that, just hoping. And when Roz came back, I was so happy. And everything they did with Roz was the son. It was the son's the girl with the baby.
Tony, let me spell you a show that's you keep Alan, the other dude, the other old dude that works at the college. He was funny too. The woman that works at the college was funny too, like the one that was their boss. And then you bring David Hyde Pierce and you just have the three of them working at Harvard and hijinks ensue. And you're done. You're done. That's your show. Done.
It's not hard. It's not hard. But they brought in the kid to play the son.
And terrible. Why did they make him like the dad? Because we've already met him on the old Frasier, and he was a nerd on the old Frasier. And they bring him on, and he's like this jock guy that's like. It just didn't make any sense.
He's the cold demeanor, and now he's the fire person. Come on.
Yeah, because the Martin was a cop, so they had to make him a civil servant in some way.
Yeah, I know what they were trying to do. But not when you already established him in the show as a
Tony. You did it earlier, but some guy in a boardroom went, "Hey, Bob, we need to make a guy like Martin. Why don't we have Frasier's son be like Martin, Steve?" Okay, Bob, that's a great idea. Like you were saying earlier, that's the exact conversation that fucking happened.
Oh, I wish I was in that room before they created that show. It made it so much better.
Anyway, we're way off subject.
We'll go back to the last one. I'm sorry.
This is part of our Last of Us pre-show. This is just becoming part of the show. We can't just talk about the Last of Us. It's just like it's impossible.
That's what we do. Young Sheldon. Yeah, there's so many we can go through. All right, all y'all seem excited about it. So when we put the live stream up, I hope to see you all there. We'll put it up a couple of days before, and hopefully y'all be there to enjoying the hijinks and everything else. We'll do it this weekend or something and get it done while it's fresh on the mind and everything else.
Here we go. B-Lion. Congratulations, my friend. Huge congratulations.
You're going to be a dad. Listen. Congratulations, B-Lion. Let me give you some fatherly advice from someone, the Don Tony Teflon. You're Dad Tony Teflon. How could you give fatherly advice? I'm going to tell you how I can do it. I have a daughter that has a master's degree, and I have another daughter that's going for a doctorate and will be a doctor.
And there's many other girls that call him daddy too. So do not worry about that. He knows.
So I'm good on raising kids. I know how to do it and how to make it successful. Did it. All right. Twice. I'll say this. This is the best advice I can give you. Cherish every little moment of it. Everything. I'm saying there's not when your kid farts on you, when you sniff their feet and they laugh and anything else. Cherish.
Oh, he's Tony. I don't mean to interrupt you. I think he's just quoting Ellie from the episode. I'm gonna be a dad.
Man, got me all emotional and shit.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. I ran with it. I saw it in the corner of my eye. I got excited. It's Mother's Day.
Anyway, anybody else who has a young child out there, cherish every moment. It goes really fast. It really goes fast, and it goes faster than you think. You know what I mean? And when you look back at it, you just miss all of those times and everything else. You miss it all.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. But so we can talk about this stuff. Anything. I got 3 kids, but yeah, cherish every moment. I miss that the most in my life to this day of my kids being little. I miss it so much, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? But that's what I would say. Just cherish every second, even every moment. Not don't ever get bored with it and look at it like being mundane. Never get used to it and stuff. Just cherish every moment. All right. That's the way I feel about it. But so for anyone out there, all right. So Ellie, we're having a baby.
Yeah, we're having a baby.
Very, very controversial scene. People going crazy. She ain't get her pregnant, blah, blah, blah. How did you take the scene? Why do you think they had her say it? What did you feel about it?
I thought the hottest part was like, I'm having a baby. Oh yeah, it's party time. I think that's why people are memeing it or making fun of it. It's because it was like I'm having a dad, and then it was like jumped up and I mean, I thought it was. Maybe I'm in the minority of thinking that I think the two of the actors actually have really good chemistry. So when they're in their little lovey chemistry scenes, I find them kind of cute. I know that's not necessarily. I can't. This is where I don't want to. Where I feel like I'm treading into spoiler territory. But you kind of hinted at it a second ago, so I'm going to go there a little bit. Ellie isn't going to be Ellie the whole time we're watching for the rest of this show. She's not going to be the Ellie that we've seen. There should be at some point some sort of change within her character that establishes in the show. So I think part of the cuteness and part of the hope that they're building up is to theoretically show the big change. So I think everything with them setting up that's kind of cute, that I'm going to be a dad. I understand the cheesiness of it. It was a cheesy line. It was, in the way Bella did it was so earnest, and she looks like the little bear, and she still looks like the little bear. You can't help it,
You can still see the little bear.
See, I still see the little bear. I want to give her, she's freaking cute as a button, and she's in it. And I feel that whole energy there. But I thought it worked, Tony. I mean, but it is. I see why people are kind of, memeing it or whatever like that. They're having fun with it.
Oh, listen, I'm gonna tell you that Edward Martin. Maybe it's the drink I'm drinking, but that 5 girls looks like squirt to me when I read it. When I first looked at it, I thought you wrote squirts, but it says 5 girls. Phil, it doesn't look like squirts. I mean, if you just looked at it
a little bit, if you go.
And it's smaller on my side screen. I just put it on there.
And we all know Edward Martin's a naughty, naughty boy, so he can put that stuff out there. Edward Martin, you naughty individuals.
I will say that they're trying to set up a maturity, right? And trying to set up, is it worth it? What's life really about? Is it worth it to risk the life of you and the woman you love, who is now carrying a baby, for revenge? Is it worth to go through with this, or just go home and say, you know what, big picture here. Mad that Joel died, mad the way he died, but I love you. We're having a baby. This is what matters in our life right now. Should we turn around right now and just call it a day? Our job now is to make sure this child has the best life it could possibly have in this world. I think they're trying to set that up by her saying it, and her being so enthusiastic is showing that she's still a child and she's still enthusiastic. She's happy as she should be, but she's a child. And, it's weird because it was very quick. It's not like they've been together for years. It seems like she just fingered her a moment ago. And going from fingering someone a moment ago to we having a baby, you all in on this shit so fast. I wouldn't be all in on this. If it was me, the Don Tony Teflon, and I got with some chick, I would say a day ago, and I had my way with her, and she goes, guess what? I'm pregnant. I wouldn't be like, we having a baby. I'd be like, who's this? Can't be mine. But again, obviously, it must be a different mentality. Well, when it's 2 women, but as a man, ain't no man reaction like that shit. And I want to hear don't look at me, look down on me, chat. Ain't no man in that reacting the goddamn same way. All right, and if he did, he would be referred to as a simp. All right, if he did act like that. All right, so the dog don't be simping for nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I know a guy personally who got with a woman who was pregnant while they got together, knew they were pregnant, got together with him. She had the kid. He adopted the kid. He adopted the kid when the kid was born, got with her while she was pregnant, adopted the kid. 3 years later, she divorced him, took him for child support, and he's been paying child support ever since. But I'm just saying, that's the way it goes. It's simp hate. I'm not simp hating. I'm just saying I'm not one, Jackie. That's not hating simps. I'm saying I'm not a simp. That's just not the way to die and roll. That's messed up too. Now I can't do it. If I can't do it, if I would have to be with you for months, and then you hit me with then I would be. I would never say it's my baby, because obviously I know you would have a father. But if I love the woman that I was with, I would say, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be here for the baby. I'm going to help you raise this baby. And we're going to see. And if the father doesn't want to be a part of the life of the baby, then I would say, let's talk about adoption.
Tony, that's an important part of what you said, because in this particular universe, in this particular situation, why it's comical that she said that, and all you said aside too, like obviously it's it's an apocalypse, time might be sped up, but all of that aside, what's hilarious about it is the father is in the picture, and he's their buddy that they hang out with, that they both say is a good guy, and he's obviously going to be in the baby's life. So all that too, and she's like, I'm going to be a daddy. No, the dude, your boss, the dude that's the best friend, that's going to be hanging out all the time, that's not a douchebag and going to just abandon them, that's the type of guy that we've already seen is the kind of guy that's going to probably step up. No, that dude's the dad. Ellie, maybe if you guys have a kid in the future, like, or have a surrogate, some situation sets up, that's your kid. You can care about this. You can be Auntie Ellie and really, or Uncle, whatever. Like, you can care about the person.
She's like, fuck you, Glenn. This is my baby.
Your stepdaddy. What you meant to say was, I'm going to be the stepdaddy. Not like, because the actual dad is living and hanging out and going to be a part of things.
And son, you just got with Shorty. It ain't like you been with Shorty. He been with her for years.
Yeah.
Got with her, broke up. Got with her, got broke up. Got with her, back broke up. He been with her for years. You just threw the fingers on her a little bit ago. All right? And I don't know a lot about lesbian sex. I don't. But I could see in an apocalypse situation that they were in there, there's only a couple things you could do. All right? So I don't know how much you could have put on that chick that he couldn't have put on that chick that would make her want to be with you over him at that particular time. Me personally, I mean, we'll be just dealing with sexual situations here. You know what I mean? There's no tools involved here. And if there was, then God damn it, Dina. If you allowing that to happen with those things, ain't no Lysol that motherfucker. You a little crazy there, Dina. You know what I mean? So I don't know how all of a sudden it's like so cut and dry. We're a couple. This is what it is, and I'm with you from now on. Nobody else. That's it. It just seems like you just went from 1 to 100 in such a little bit of time.
It seemed like it was in the script that they needed to be together, and they yada it a little bit. And part of the problem, Tony, comes from a couple of episodes ago, because in the episodes that should have felt like we had, a long time, like, or throughout the season of this was months of lead up, and like the anticipation of it and the sexual energy of it was handled in a montage of horseback riding with quips from a distance, where we weren't really dealing with them at the end of that other episode where they're traveling from this situation and a television thing to really sell that relationship. You could have sold everything you're asking for, like everything, even though it was only a matter of days or a week, couple weeks or something. You could have sold everything you're asking for if you set up a few more scenes of like hardcore sexual energy based around the dancing scene that you had earlier in the season. Like if you built on that, other than just that happened, they just sort of went whatever. And then it was like they were ignoring each other, and suddenly there's that moment that we just had, which is justified, but it felt like a justified sexual kind of explosion moment, but not how Ellie turned it around and was like, we're going to get married now, and I'm your dad, and I'm the daddy, and stuff like that. That's just a bit too far. That almost comes off as obsessive, like love bombing attitude of her being like.
It gives a lot of these trolls out here some firepower to come at them with.
Fuck yeah, like that too. That's like too, Tony. It certainly does that.
Like you're asking for it at that particular time. Jason says plenty of videos available to teach you about lesbian sex. I know, thank you, sir. No, thank you. I'm cool with it. Again, my daughter's married to a woman, right? So, no, thank you, sir. I will say this though, if you want to talk about it, Jason, I have a really good friend who is a lesbian woman, and I went to her to learn my pussy eating technique. Straight up, I asked her, and she showed me and told me, and that's why I patterned my whole pussy looking eating technique. It was from her. I dead ass went to her because, listen, I'm going to the best.
Yeah,
right.
How can you learn something? Yeah,
it's my friend. She's my friend. You gotta think of it. If she came to me and said, "Tone, I need some stroke technique," I would have told her, "This is what you gotta do. You take this the right butt cheek muscle and you move it to this side. You do this like I would have told her, but I want
Tony,
to.
if I wanted to learn how to shoot, a basketball, I'd ask Michael Jordan or Larry Bird. You know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, dudes, what do you guys show me what to do?
She told me, and I'm amazing at it because of her. And that's just the bottom line. I know a lot of black men like the front, like they don't do it, but goddamn it, times has changed. All right. I'm like a lizard down there, guys.
Cunnilingus and psychiatry got us to this, people. Cunnilingus and psychiatry got us to this.
Yeah. We're gonna keep it moving, and we're gonna go down. It is the phone lines are open if you want to call in. Definitely give us a
down in Mexico
stuff like that. I'm a well-skilled athlete here. Because listen, the bottom line is this: and my friend Scotty Gotti used to always do it, and he used to back in the day when it wasn't popular, and he used to tell me all the time, like, Tone, this is what you gotta do if you want to be who. And he was right, and that's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? But in the end, I will say that, you know, dealing with The Last of Us, we're done off the top, we're done off all that. But dealing with The Last of Us, I understand it gave too much ammunition for people who are not able, who want to criticize the show, to do it. I understand they wanted to make her gun ho because they wanted to make her like, oh my God, I'm so excited, we're gonna have a baby and everything else. But it gives people ammunition to say, look at this chick, this disregarding the father, who we know is a good guy, who's going to be in the child's life, who wants to be in the child's life. And I think they went from 1 to 100 pretty good. The beautiful Red Lipstick Club, my co-host for the After Dark stream in here. And she says it's called unholing, Tony. Very quickly, emotionally intense connections happen between two women. You can go from strangers to moving into it a week later. Thank you very much. I had no idea about this unholing situation. I call it a hobosexual, right? And that is what a guy will fuck for a place to stay. To me, that is a homosexual, right? And I would say not that Abby is a homosexual, but I'm saying that's what guys use that. So I think maybe it's two different things when you're dealing with a guy and then with a woman. With a woman, it's called unholing. With a man, it's called homosexual.
I've done that Woody Harrelson Kingpin thing. You know, sometimes you need a place to stay. You can't pay the rent.
Going on here.
Sometimes you can't pay the rent, you know.
But I do not understand. So she's saying that it can get so emotionally intense between two women living, running together, and everything else. Doesn't mean it's gonna work in the end, right? You could feel that way. You know what I mean? You can feel that way, and it doesn't mean it's gonna work. She did go from 0 to 100, but I think it's Ellie's not really sexually active or mostly like had a lot of partners and stuff. Again, your first love hurts the most, right? Because the first time you ever get your heart broken, it never hurts as bad as that. When I got my heart broken when I was 14, 15 years old, I've never hurt as much ever. You know, as a broken bone, it heals and it gets stronger over time. No different, right? So I hear what you're saying, Anna, on holding and such like that. It could get you in trouble, I would think too, because in the end, you have to realize that, hey, this chick leave her panties on the floor all the time, and I don't like it. This chick throw her socks in the sink. I don't like it. Her breath stinks. Too bad in the morning. Whatever it is, you figure things out. So I understand you get emotionally invested in everything else. I think it's more of a Ellie youngness to her. But I think what they're trying to do is trying to let the audience know that, what are you willing to do here? Are you willing to go back with your lady and the baby and call this shit off? Because that's what's important, or is revenge more important to you than anything else? I think that's right.
And I think ultimately you're right about the even more than immature youngness, like a naivete that I think she's projecting of what she's lost at this point. I mean, whether it was successful in displaying this is what I think my vibe with the attention. One, exactly what you're saying about the revenge, like putting all of this worth the revenge, but also what she's lost in her family with Joel, and she fought so hard to get family after what she lost with her mom and like or whatever. So now she's found it again, and she's jumping on that thing like, you know, like the last M&M in the thing, like when I'm super hungry and stoned or something. Like you got to jump on it, and she sees a chance. She sees a chance for like a new future, a new family, a new thing. So she's sort of rushing into that perspective, and I think they're setting that up for, at least it seems to me, and I don't know the game. I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like they're setting that up for a fall. I do not know what's happening. This is not a spoiler. This is my projection. Dina seems like dead person walking. Dina and that baby are dead. And Ellie is gonna fucking lose her fucking shit. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, Tony. This is not a fucking spoiler. So no one tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I want to be surprised. I think all that last episode is gonna mean in the end is Ellie's gonna be like, I had it again in my hand. It's almost like Robert Baratheon thinking that he had this magic thing with Lyanna that never really existed, and she's gonna look back as another thing she fucking lost that just adds on to the revenge thing, and it makes it weigh even more, Tony. That's the vibe I get from it.
I hear you. I will not answer that question. I would say Red Lipstick Club, my dear Anna, will you please call in on Phil's line? Phil, what's the number so she knows?
781-990-8509. I don't know why I said zero like that. I was like zero.
I would like to hear from you, Anna. I'm not going to. I don't want to, because you're making fun of the Don's New York City accent, saying you hauling. And you hauling. I'm sorry if I didn't say that. I'm from Queens, New York. I speak a little different. So we need to speak and talk about the situation. The best way to speak is for you to call in. I know you can call in, so not that you're home right now or anything, but you call in. We'll talk about it. And other things too. And we can make a bet right now. As Phil and I can make a bet right now about this Knicks Celtics situation.
Oh God. I was hoping we wouldn't talk about this until one more game happens. I've been avoiding you like the plague for a couple of days.
I'm hoping to get a 3-1 that I was going to bring it up.
Before next week, it might be a different situation. That being said, I fully I eat my shit right now. Celtics fucking sucked, and the Knicks picked it up those first two games. All power to the Knicks. We fucking sucked.
I was with you. As a Knicks fan, you can't go behind every game and win. We've been behind every game. The Celtics has outplayed us every game, and we pulled out 2 miracles. There's only so many miracles you can play. You got to start playing better basketball all around. Jalen Brunson and everybody else. If you don't play better basketball, you're not going to win. And that's it. And it all really comes down to me to this game. Knicks win this game, we win the series. We lose this game, we lose the series. So it all comes down to this.
Anna, are you with us?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure it didn't ring for some reason, and I saw the name pop up. But yeah, I agree, Tony. This next game, obviously Knicks go 3-1, they're going to win the series. But if the Celtics win this next game and tie it 2-2, I'm going to feel a lot better about this shit.
Yeah, it'd be over. I won't the Knicks be able to.
Because you're right. The first 3 games we were up 20, and we just blew two colossal, historic 20-point games to you guys. Anyway, sorry. I'll shut up for a while. Anna and Tony, take over.
Hey, Tony.
Hi, babe. How are you?
I'm good. It's called
you
hauling.
All right. So what did I say? Did I say something wrong about it? I'm sorry if I did.
I think you were calling. I don't know what you were calling it, but it wasn't right.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I meant no disrespect about it and everything else. So can you explain to us now? I will say, let me preface this before so people understand. Anna is probably, I would say, a 100% ambassador to the LGBT community. She works with a lot of them. She is probably the queen in her state of it. So she is 100% about it. She's not talking about it in any way. She is an expert in this field when it comes to that. Is that wrong for me to say, Anna?
An expert? Yeah, I don't know if it's an expert, but yeah,
I'm not expert in the actual section. I'm saying in dealing with whatever. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say anything wrong. So
I'm a staunch ally. I am very I'm a huge ally. So my closest friends are lesbian women, and it's called U-hauling. It's basically you meet somebody. It could happen in a day. You go from strangers to in a full-blown relationship to the point where you go get a U-haul to move somebody in with someone else. That's what they call U-hauling.
And this happens on women on women things, particularly mostly.
Yes, lesbian relationships. Yes.
It can
go from I just met you to we're moving in together, and these two people are best friends and know each other. So this is not at all odd that their relationship would accelerate this quickly because they actually know each other. But imagine, but there's like tons of strangers that move this fast in the world.
And do you think that it's because you found somebody who's like you and you haven't experienced someone like you? Does it happen more naturally? Because when we look at this situation here, dealing with these two ladies, we have to say that one of them has always known who she was, and the other one is just finding out who she is, whether bisexual or not. So would you say that it would happen more in people who don't know who they are and then get turned on by somebody else and realize who they are more naturally than to two people who are aware of who they are over the time?
I don't think that would really make a difference. I think just women in general are more emotional with our decision making. So we're making more emotional decisions. And this is a very emotionally driven decision. It's not really driven by logic.
Okay. I feel you on that, and I understand it a little bit better now, and I hope that the chat understands this a little bit better now. So, Anna, I want to hear your answer. I have to go get a drink because my Cosmopolitan is out, but I would like to make a bet with you, Anna. If your Denver Nuggets and my New York Knicks sometimes make the finals, I would like to make a bet with you on who wins that series.
What's the bet?
It doesn't matter.
You mean if we end up playing the Knicks?
Yeah, if the Knicks wind up playing you in the finals, then I'd like to make a bet on that.
Okay, we should definitely make a bet that I will win.
I'm too scared to joke. I'm too scared to Joker. If the Celtics play them, he's gonna make the Celtics their bitch.
I'm not even worried about it, man.
Dominic in the comments says, was Frank and Bill U-haulers? Pretty much. It happens way more with lesbian relationships, but it does happen with gay relationships with two men too.
I would think when you look at Frank and Bill is the guy who I don't know if Bill, from what it was shown, and I want to say, and again, I don't want to say this anything. Bill is the guy who was already there. Frank is the guy who he ran into, right? Unless I'm messing the names up. I don't know if Bill knew that about himself until he met Frank.
Yeah, I think that instance, you know how you asked, is it because you're like just discovering yourself? I think sometimes for men that are in that situation, this is your first experience with a man. It's a very emotionally charged situation, right? Where you're like, it felt like Bill was like just discovering himself. So you can make really quick, rash, emotional decisions in that type of scenario where most men might not make that quick of a decision.
Yeah.
In that scenario.
At least Frank was like, go wash the ass first, bro. Frank was like, Bill was about it. Bill was about it. Frank was like, nah, you gotta go take a shower, brother.
Yeah.
Go wash up a little bit.
Wash up.
Yeah, go clean yourself out before we get up in here. Yeah, lumberjack, motherfucker. Get your ass in. Phil, hold it. I gotta get this get this drink.
Yeah, I'm sure Bill knew he liked men. I just don't think it didn't feel like he had ever had the opportunity to really explore that. Or if he had explored it, maybe just sexually, but hadn't had an emotional or a want to have an emotional connection with a man yet.
Right. And he found it and discovered who he was through that emotional connection in that moment. And that's how it sort of exploded into something. And I think also with television stuff, everything feels extra sped up because they show it in a quick narrative as well.
Yes. Yeah. And I think too, like, you're in a very emotionally charged environment right now where, you know, you could die right this instant. So I feel like people aren't, when it comes to connections with other people, they are not making immediately the best decisions. You're just looking for companionship.
Very fair. I feel like almost it's not the same thing, but a similar equivalent. Like if I survive into my old age and I end up in a nursing home or something like that, if I find even like a bit of connection, I'm going to be like, we're moving in, we're getting married tomorrow. You know, it's at that point, it doesn't matter.
I don't have time to waste, basically.
Exactly. And when you're in this kind of environment, it's just, you don't have a lot of time. And so I guess there's that as well. Like the everything has like mutagen, like Ninja Turtle mutagen added to it to have everything sped up and emotionalized a bit more.
The only thing I didn't like is like when Ellie said, I'm going to be a dad.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cute and all, but just like you said, Jesse's there. Like, it's not like that man is missing or dead.
Yeah, dude. Right. He's like, and everything we've known about him is he's a pretty good dude so far too. So it's like, oh, I can't wait to meet the baby. You know, she could have. Yes, it's a cute line, like you said, but there was a better way of expressing that, and like the emotional thing is like, oh, we're gonna be a family, or just say that we're gonna be a family.
Are we doing lavender marriages in the apocalypse? Is that what's happening?
Exactly. They're gonna do the pagan thing, and they're just gonna all get together.
Where Jesse is actually just their surrogate. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Jesse seems like he might be gay, man. I don't know. I know Jesse has that kind of vibe.
Maybe he's a surrogate but sperm donor. They're treating Jesse like a sperm donor. Like
totally.
Like they got a sample.
Yeah, they are, where he's actively everything that we've known about him, and that makes me think he's dead man walking too. Like, okay, so does Ellie know something I don't know? Is Ellie gonna like kill him in the night or something? I'm gonna be the daddy. You know, like, come on.
Yeah, that's the only. So, what are you guys looking forward to in this upcoming episode?
I would say this. I always questioned why at the beginning they never ever introduced spores into the show. And the show writers have said they didn't want the people to wear masks and all that other stuff. So the fact that we have seen the preview and the preview has shown that this lady says straight up it's in the air, I think maybe they held back that situation for now to make it a little bit more dramatic. So I'm finally glad that they brought the spores in the air into this episode, and I look forward to mostly of seeing that.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to, I don't know, I guess I'm just simple. I just want some action. I want this to be sort of like an exciting action-packed kind of episode. Woo! I want some emotional intensity and some big stuff leading into, again, what people are saying is the Oscar emotional episode, which is next week's episode. So if that's going to be like a dialogue heavy emotional episode, which it seems like it's going to be, I want tonight to be sort of an action spectacular kind of vibe.
Yeah, because next week's supposed to be the penultimate, right?
Yeah, and I've heard it's possibly this Pedro flashback episode where we get to see more of their relationship, like what happened that night. You know, that kind of.
We never seen in the trailer where she says, "You lied to me," right?
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, there's something to a whole flashback episode. I heard that's what I heard on the podcast.
Yeah, that's episode 6 from what I've been hearing.
Yeah,
I just don't see how that helps the show. I mean, it may give you a little bit more context, and it may make my argument when I defeated Gray Area handily in a debate more sense when you see that Ellie would have died and wanted to die in that situation. And again, I think now we're setting up a situation, a point where she has a woman, she has a child that she considers to be hers. Would she sacrifice herself again for the betterment of them? And from everything from everything we've seen about Ellie, I think that's without a doubt that she would do that. So that that child
you think she'd sacrifice herself?
I think she would agree to the operation if she felt that it could help Dina, and that's why
she really had nothing to lose. In the when they first got to the hospital.
Yeah, but when she came out the hospital, she knew where she was going. She felt like her mission was that she's going to save the world. That was her purpose. And she was going there, and she went there. Her whole purpose, especially, and they explain a little bit more in the game, that her purpose, that she felt in Ellie's head, she felt like her mission was to save the planet, to save humanity. That's what she was going there to do. That was what she was about to do. There's a reason why Joel lied to her about it and said specifically, there's 8, 9, 10 other person just like you. We didn't need you. Because he knew that if he told her the truth, that she wouldn't be about it. He knew that if she said, when she asked, hey, what happened to Marlene? He goes, well, I killed her to get you out of it. She wouldn't have had it. She'd be like, what the fuck did you do, Joel? Why would you do that? Because in the end, to me, in the end, what's going on, Marquise? In the end, to me, it's Joel did the decision selfishly for himself. I'm not going to debate whether he was right or wrong, but it was basically a decision based on his needs. He needed a new daughter. He felt that was his daughter, and that's why he did it. So he didn't do it for anyone but himself in that situation. I do believe he lied to Ellie because he knew that Ellie would have went along with it. That's why Marlene said, well, let her choose. Let her pick, let her wake up and let her choose. And let's see what she does. And then he killed her right after that because he knew right then, he knew the truth too, that she would pick to do this. And he didn't want her to do it for himself so he could grow up with a new daughter figure.
Yeah. I think for him, it felt like he was losing another kid. He's like, I can't do that. I just don't think he could emotionally handle that again.
I understand 100%. I understand Gray's point when she was there. But I just don't think that it's valid. I just don't think that it was the right thing to do in the end. When you have a situation, and someone asked me again, would I sacrifice my kids? Number one, it's two different situations. It's not Joel's kid. And it's a girl he got to know in a couple of months. All right. So let's be honest about it. It's a girl he got to know in a couple of months. Maybe he grew deep feelings for this girl in these months. But that's not the same as you asking me of a girl that I cut the umbilical cord off of. That's my child that I've watched grow up every year to that point. That's two different things, two levels. So saying what I do it to my child is not a direct one-to-one situation that you're asking Joel to do. So I think the question is unfair to ask that to me in dealing with the situation that Joel had did. Now, if it was Joel's daughter who died before, then I think it would be a direct one-to-one comparison, but not someone who's just gotten to know in a couple of months.
Yeah. Also, too, you guys, like the comments are getting a little homophobic for me, so I'm just telling y'all, like, calm down. Don't bring that like bad energy to a show. We're only talking about one component of the show is a relationship. We're talking about one relationship out of many. It doesn't make it a gay show if you have one gay relationship.
Yeah, so my man Fernandez T, that's probably who you're referring to, is a very good person in the channel. I think he's just making jokes, and maybe the jokes are a little off-putting at the particular point. You know what I mean? So but I understand.
I know Fernandez. It's not just Fernandez.
Yeah, you know Fernandez. You know
Some
Fernandez. Yeah, so I just think he's just chilling. He just, people. I would say that's my man. 50 grand. Yeah, he really. Yeah. That's my man.
Because you know how what happens is what people think is a joke or think is funny to them doesn't necessarily mean it's funny to other people. And I'm sure you, like everybody, wants to keep this a safe and welcoming space for everybody. So
100%.
Like, let's just bring a different energy, y'all.
No, I 100%.
I don't think you're bad people. I just think the energy feels off to me.
Yeah, I will stand here and defend him 100% because I know he's not saying anything. It makes, when you put things in text, sometimes they don't sound exactly the same when you say it out loud, right? So and everyone's been accused, has happened to. So I don't think he means it in any way. I've known him for a long time. Been a big, huge supporter of the channel, and that is not who he is. 100%. So I know he don't get down like that.
Yeah,
that's just what
I know he has for a while. That's why I'm just saying the energy feels off, y'all. So like, flip it to something else.
Yeah, listen,
talking about a lot of different stuff.
I will say that, and I said it myself in one of the conversations. Said, let's be gay in a populace where where the kids are important to build society, but let's not be selfish and screw each other instead. And he put an LOL there. Probably that's what the comment was that he said. I have said it. I said it in a debate with Gray, and I will say, like, Ellie is important. She is the most important person in this world, right? She is the only one that we have seen that has immunity to this disease. It is crucial to get her, especially if we're feeling the way that, Gray was talking about, let pregnant women get bit by the creature and then let them give birth to the baby and then let that woman die. That's better than killing Ellie and seeing if we could find the cure, right? That was Gray's solution to the whole thing. She was like, hey, let people, before they give birth, let the creatures just bite them in the arm and they're going to die. Then they give birth to the baby, then we kill them and the baby's immune. That's better than killing Ellie. And I was saying, not at all. You know what I mean? And I did say that, what is she contributing to society by not allowing herself to have babies that are not infected? Now, we don't know if she would do that, you know what I mean? But I would think that I would think that she should have to, not have to, everyone must have to, but would, compelled to have a couple of children eventually, whether it's with Glenn or whoever. Am I just saying Glenn because he's Asian and that's not his name? Or is that his name? What is his name? I think I'm messing up here. Jesse, damn it. Yeah, I am calling him Glenn because he's Asian.
You keep calling him Glenn. I'm like, that's not Glenn.
I'm sorry, Jesse. All right, I'm sorry, Jesse. I'm calling the dude.
I wasn't understanding why you were calling him Glenn the whole time. I'm who's Glenn?
I know that I'm doing it, and I know I'm wrong. I don't know his name.
That's funny.
But that's what's popping up in my head and stuff. But Jesse, listen, she should have a baby by Jesse too. They should both have babies by Jesse. The babies would be related. One will be, have immunity and everything. Like she should help this world out in some way when you like this, instead of just having this secret, you know what I mean? And keeping it the way she's keeping it. So I just think that when you're, sometimes when people aren't willing to do things themselves, then the government has to step in and do it for them. And that's just the way I feel about certain things. And this is what it is. Fandom D say, leave me alone. All right. Leave me alone. Every time I see it, Glenn's got me, I'm horrified. All right. Glenn fucked me up. Every time I see Fandom D say, every time I see an Asian person, I get flashbacks to Jesse. It hurts me. All right, I get nervous. I got Jesse syndrome. I got syndrome over this situation with Glenn and stuff. It could bring flashbacks to me, man. They did my boy dirty like that and everything.
I love it. Well, I look forward to your after show, Phil.
Thank you, Anna. I will talk to you later.
Yes, we'll chat with you all later.
Have a good night, Anna. Great call.
Bye.
Bye. And Anna is, as Tony was mentioning, is our co-host for the After Dark and also Red Lipstick Club podcast. Make sure you check out Anna.
100%. No, beautiful Anna. It's just worth just looking at her. And she's smart and intelligent and all that. But I'll be honest, it's just good to look at her. It's just good to look at her. It really is. And I don't mind. Can I say I don't mind? That's how you say it in R&B language, and Keith Sweat language. Can I just stroke you down? I don't mind. That's how you say it. That's Keith Sweat language right there. That's how it goes. Speaking of that, real quick, let me see if I can pull this up real quick for people here. Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know how to do this. So for my mother, for Mother's Day, my brother and my sister Coley Cole, who you see in the chat sometimes all the time, well, I decided to do something a little special. So I brought up my mother is obviously a huge fan of Billy D. Williams. So I brought up the point, maybe we should get a cameo by Billy D. Williams from our mother so she could, because I'm sure it would be great for her to hear Billy D say her name. And we actually did, and here is the cameo of Billy D. Williams talking about my mama on Mother's Day.
You want my arm to fall off? Love it, darling. Billy D here. Joseph, Tony, and Colette asked me to send you all my love this Mother's Day, and I'm honored to do just that. They told me you've been a fan since Lady Sings the Blues, and that kind of devotion means the world to me. You're a woman of style, strength, and soul, a true lady who deserves to be celebrated every single day. And remember what I said in Mahogany. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with. Oh. Well, from what I hear, you've got a whole lot of love around you. So here's to you, Claudette. Beautiful, strong, and deeply loved. Happy Mother's Day. Ciao, Bella.
And I will say that my mother was ecstatic. Ecstatic. It is the easiest word to say.
Yeah, my family got me one of those a couple of years ago for my birthday from Kira from Nana Visitor from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and it was amazing. Those things are awesome. It's a really cool thing.
So like she we have it. I actually recorded my mother's reaction and everything else, and she was getting too much, and I was like, "Mom, calm down. I'm your son. I don't need to be hearing what you're saying." And she's over here. I need to just take me and Billy D to my bedroom and listen to this.
She was going full Billy D.
Oh,
Billy D.
Yeah, she was like, "Ciao, Bella, ciao, Bella." Like she was all about it, like so, I was like, "Well, no."
Yeah, everyone, we need to chip in. I might have to organize this around Tony's birthday and get Acosta to do a in-person cameo for Tony.
She's not on cameo.
We gotta pay for. Oh yeah, you got one from a cast member. You didn't disclose who, but you got one from a cast member this past year.
I did, and I will say I don't want to bring up nothing bad, but I'm not gonna say I was disappointed in it, but I was disappointed. Not a lot of effort put there in that one, so I didn't see a lot of effort.
We talked about it a little off air.
I would say that. The one I got one from Marielle, and it was amazing. Marielle was amazing. Did a great job.
Awesome.
And everything else and all that good stuff. And that was sent to me right after my brother had passed away. That was sent to me by somebody who remained nameless, and she actually was going through the same thing. And she did an amazing job. But the other one, not at all. Very rushed, very... seemed scripted. It just did not seem good. And I've seen this person do good ones for other people before. Maybe it was just a dead night or whatever, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. But yeah, no, my mom. Listen, if your mother is of a certain age, right, and she your mama, as everyone, look, Billy D was the smoothest, sexiest man in the black community, especially in the world.
Yeah.
Period.
There was like for the whole entire it was like him and Burt Reynolds, you know, we're like 1-1-2 for a long time there, like up there.
That's Billy D. Yeah, that's Billy D. Goddamn, he's so good. He got into Star Wars. They didn't just put him in there because they said we needed a black person. They put him in there because he was Billy D. Goddamn Williams, and he stole the show from Harrison Ford in every scene he was with. I mean, he said the man is 89 years old. So like he's 89. He's almost 90 years old right now. Billy D. Go watch Lady Sings the Blues. Go watch Mahogany. Go watch those movies with Billy D in it, and you'll see who Billy D is. And he's a Haitian man, which is I got nothing but love for the Haitian people as a whole. And it's not even he's not even like. And I don't believe in African American stuff. I really don't. I believe in black people, black Americans. So, but he's not even a black American. He's a Haitian, straight Haitian. And he was able to pull that off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And become that much of a sex symbol. And that is not easy to do. Thank you so much, Top Tier, for the generous super chat. You know what I mean? Great stream. We need to run up the like show. They do need to run up the like. And all that, but we'll go for 5 more minutes because I still got a little bit of drinking. This is a double, goddamn it, and then we'll let y'all get ready for your whole thing and everything else and good stuff. So if anyone wants to call up real quick and say what up, you know the phone number. We'll listen to you and anything. Phil, you said it before, but again, what do you think is going to happen in this?
It seems like they're amping up to a confrontation of some sort. If we're watching the trailer, if I'm going by the trailer, it seems like Ellie's running after someone in the trailer, running towards somebody. So perhaps maybe we bump into one of the crew that Abby was with, maybe one of those dudes or one of the girls that we bump into. We did see one of the guys in the tower 2 episodes ago. So maybe it's that guy. Maybe we bump into him tonight and Ellie gets her first notch on the belt of revenge tonight. I don't know. That's my...
I would say, Phil, for the average viewer, do you think they're even going to remember what the people that were with Abby look like?
I had to ask Joe in the after stream, was that one of them? Because I'm not sure. I don't know because we didn't spend enough time with them, which again goes to if they were going to spread this out there, I feel like they could have done it in slightly better ways and maybe started the season with Abby and crew for like the half of the first episode of just all with them from the time of, you know, right discovery through it and just kind of really meet all those people. Because you're right. I won't know them for sure. I'll have to get a little quick flashback. Like when Ellie makes eye contact with the person and we flash back to her seeing her in the bath situation. Oh yeah, that's that person. Or go by her reaction because I wouldn't know them by sight, Tony.
Yeah. And I would think that's a bad thing that they're doing. If you're trying to set up the people that were with Abby, and if Ellie's going to be taking them out, if that's what's going to happen in this show, you need to let us realize who these people are. And just showing them once twice, I would say, in 2 episodes is not enough time.
Yeah.
And if you want people to care about these people, you need to show them more than the time you've seen them. And they did not do that. So I would say for that, to me, it's an L, not building that up.
It reminds me a lot of Walking. Oh, sorry.
No matter the flashbacks they do next season, it's not going to matter when it comes to those things.
It reminds me a lot of the Walking Dead stuff. Like when after a certain point, they stopped caring about introducing new characters and like making you know them and understand them. And they just said, hey, look, it's Jesus from the comics. Here, it's Tyrese from the comics. Care about these people and not make you actually learn about them and discover them as characters. It was more just like, oh, hey, it's this person. Hey, it's this thing. And I think that's where this show has a little bit of a, it doesn't quite match up in what it's trying to do. It's trying to do something for a television audience that's never seen it before, but it's also doing certain things that only game players would understand. And it's not taking the time to explain things in ways like who describe and explain who all these people that were with Abby were and why they're important. And, or for whatever reason, like, I don't know Dick. Like, similar stuff with Ellie and with certain situations. They just expect us to have played the game, but then at times they say, oh no, we're making this for a completely new television audience. So it's an interesting parallel that this game walks in, that it's possibly in a Kobayashi Maru no-win situation where no matter what it does, it's going to piss somebody off. For me, it's good and bad, and I think it's been a mixed bag, Tony. Like it's when it's good, but it's also been when it's bad, it's cringy sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that when it comes down to it, you have an audience too that you're trying to broadcast this to. Again, you can like what you like, and I think that a lot of people, artists especially, and if you consider someone who writes or someone who puts on television shows as artists, there's a fine line between putting out something that you think is artistic that you like and something that actually makes people want to watch again.
Yep.
and brings in the money for you, right? You can like things. I can like things. I can like songs that I made from back in the day and did a whole bunch of things like that. But in the end, is it what the audience wants at the time? And that's what you have to deal with. And are you willing to sacrifice some of your artistic values to make something that the audience wants at this time? And you got to always check the time period you're in, because you could be ahead of your time. Again, in life, timing is everything.
Yep.
And that is goddamn truth. You could be Kool G Rap is probably the greatest rapper of all time. If he would have been able to come out in the late 90s and he was of that age group with 50 Cent and everyone else, he'd probably been recognized as the greatest rapper of all time. But the fact that he came out in the early 80s, he was so far ahead of his time that people didn't know how good that cat was. And they didn't know how to take it. And you can go through a lot of artists who are like that in the end. You know what I mean? Because it's all about timing, and timing is everything in life. So it's all about that when it comes down to it, and how they do that for the rest of this season and how they time things. And you got to look at the climate that we're in right now and everything else. Again, you may not be here to do things for everyone. The numbers haven't slipped. They've went up, right? 7.8 million viewers for this last episode, 5.2 for the first episode. So it's still there. We haven't seen the drop. The drop has been in the comment section, and when people have been able to vote themselves, regular people, not critics. So we can say that is based upon hatred that they're having right there, not upon people watching. So we don't take that seriously at all. You know what I mean? But that is what it's all about in life and everything else. We're going to get up out of here. Thank you for everyone who has chilled. Make sure you watch Phil the Issue Guy's stream. Jackie C has put that up there. It will be at the end of the episode. Go over there and join Phil and Joe and watch them and support them and make them go in there, because make Joe get drunk. All right.
It's tough. He's getting his rhythm back. He's not drinking yet.
Make Joe go up there and do his thing.
He might tonight. Tonight might be the night. All
right, we'll be back. Phil and I will be back. We'll try to be back this week to do the spinoff stream. So we'll get this spinoff thing and everything else. Phil will get the tier list. I got to get some shows in my mind. He's got to get some shows in mind so we can have them all down there. And we'll do the whole spin-off thing and everything else. I'll be dropping the new Sinners video tomorrow. So if you're into Sinners and all that good stuff, I'll have my next Sinners video will be out tomorrow, drop in the morning and stuff. And thank y'all for the super chats. Thank y'all for coming through, especially on the Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all. Phil, would you like to say something to all the mothers in the audience?
Oh, thank you all mothers for all you've done for me this year. I appreciate it. Personally, and I do. And as someone that lost my mother a while back, it's a tough day. It is, but I do send lots of love to all the mothers in the world.
100%. It would definitely be devastating to me if my mother, something happened to her, but in the end, I always say to people, I try to say to people that, enjoy the time we have with the people we have. And as Michael Landon said, when he passed away, and what is on his tombstone, the guy from A Little House on the Prairie, he said, remember me with laughter, for that's how I'll remember you all. If you can only remember me with tears, please don't remember me at all. And I think that's what everybody would feel about themselves. No one wants you crying on them. People will want you remembering the good times with them and how cherished you are to have had someone in your life for as long as you had, because there's people who have people in their life for people die, never meet their moms die giving birth for since this time has been on this earth, human beings, right? So as long as you have with your mother, please appreciate it and understand that it's a gift that you have that time with them and that you can and spend with them, and never take it for granted at all, especially the little things in life and everything. So we will be back again next week at this time, but me and Phil will be back. We're going to do this. I'm going to hold them to it. We're going to do this because I got a lot to say about these damn spinoffs. We're going to do a spinoff stream, but before that, make sure that you check out Phil the Issues Guy tonight when this show is over. Go over there. There's other people trying to creep in there, trying to take.
Oh, they've been doing it for years, Tony. They've been doing it for years. I've been doing this since Breaking Bad, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know. I know. I see him. Fuck the people.
Fuck them all, dude. Fuck them all. We have the most fun. We might not be the classiest, we might not be the best, but we have the most fun and we're the most real. Come and join us. We'll be on there.
When we went on Pete Peppers, people were saying, "Oh, Tony Teflon, he's so cringe." Fuck y'all, all right? Fuck y'all. Not Pete. Pete was cool people.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool chap.
All right, people in the chat. Listen, if you're looking up for that buttoned up, book shit, this straight down the line, the Don and Phil ain't the people.
Yeah, we are not. That's not us.
And no, we're here to entertain you. Listen, my Tracy Morgan fucking impersonation is spot on. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm good at the Tracy Morgan impersonation. I pulled that shit off pretty well. I'm pretty good at that one. And
I would nominate our T Diddy podcast for a fucking podcast award. That was fucking.
100%. T Diddy podcast probably should be a fucking a Webby award. But
yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't think of what they're called. Yeah, that's a Webby award-winning podcast. It was 10 years ago. No. We were locked in character that whole night. We were in character. We even kept it up with Donna. It was great.
Donna was getting a little nervous about it.
at first, we dropped that far. Anyways, I do need to run and get ready.
Let me get up out of here. Listen, we love you guys. Love everybody. And if you like the way it is and whatever, all that good stuff. Peace.
Phantom DC.